Hello class, welcome to MAN 2043, Management 243 we can call it. Let's see, this is going to be a video to help you guys kind of go through navigation of the course. We're going to look at everything here and take you through mostly D2L, but some of the other resources that we're using here. The course is Project Management in Action, and this is somewhat of an extension of MAN 2041 or 241, which is Project Management in Organizations. This is an extension because we're doing more practical project management. There's guidance on certification, and they're working through a number of very specific tools that are used in the industry. We are working on real-world approaches, some new project management approaches that are modern, up-to-date real-world approaches. Most of this stuff is up-to-date to right now. And there are lots of guides and information on how to get an understanding of the new systems, guides, and tests. We'll be talking a little bit about careers and directions you can go for real work, and plan-driven and agile approaches, which is what the buzz is all about today. So for this course, here we are. This is the course shell, and let me explain, there are three main things that we're doing this course. Three things that will give you a grade. One of them is discussion questions. Discussion questions can be pretty straightforward and simple, or they can get a little bit extensive in here. So there's a lot of attention on discussion questions. Those are once a week. Stay on top of those. Another thing is a textbook reading, which is going to be Cengage MindTap, which I'm going to take you through all of that, which is in the content. And the third thing that we're being graded on is a large project that will carry throughout the course called the Arbor Project, the Heritage Arboretum Project. It's in the textbook, and we'll do 4 presentations throughout the course in small teams, and you'll be using MS Teams. So there are 2 external sources. One of them is Cengage MindTap, which some of you have used a lot. It's just a textbook and the textbook testing and practice tests. And then there is MS Teams, which I'll walk you through all that in this video here. So like most courses, we're going to start with the Content tab. And what you're going to see here on the left is Getting Started. And basically, you've got the syllabus and some informational things, or maybe more up here. The next thing is going to be Cengage MindTap registration. You want to get yourself registered for the course. There's lots of information and videos to help you get started. This is included in the course, so this is where you'll do the testing and practice testing, and it'll be directly graded in the gradebook. The next thing is about this project assignment, which is the Heritage Arboretum Development Project. It's found in the end of each chapter throughout the text, and we will be putting together 4 presentations. As you will individually make a presentation, 4 different sections, and these sections correspond to the 4 sections in the textbook. So running down this content tab here, you've got week 1 and everything starting. There's a little bit of a background here. Week 1's got lots of things to look at, of course, and we've got a nice big to-do list that helps you keep on track. You can check those off as you go. These are links that go to the discussion question. This will jump you right to the discussion question. And here's what the first question is all about. And we'll go back to the table of contents. I'm going to show you the discussions in about a minute. Let's see. So we have in week 1, you'll have a checklist of things to do and testing. And then you'll have some reminders of things to do. Every week is going to have the reading, the practice test, and the quiz. These are project management professional quiz test questions. So this is a really good preparation for that exam if you're taking it in the future. The reading, of course, tells you what's going on in the chapter, and you can look through and find all the reading. A lot of little questions come up with that. And then there's a practice test, and you can check your answer as you go. Each time that you make a answer, you can check to see if that was right. So you can learn quite well using the practice test. You have to submit those to get perfect score. Since it tells you the answers after you check it, you may as well get 100% on that. Those are like free points, and it's a good way to study. And then the quiz right here is 10, 15, 20 questions roughly, plus or minus a few each chapter for a quiz, and that goes again directly to the grade book. So each week you're going to go through and see what a little bit about what we're talking about here. You're going to be thinking about the Arbor project, and there's the 4 parts, and then you're going to have the discussion for each week here. So that's really what the table of contents and content tab has, and that's all right here. We do have an assignments tab, and basically this is just a placeholder and a reminder of some of the dates that we have right here. So these are when these dates or when these projects are due. I'll give you a little bit more of that when we get into the assignment. Let me jump across the top here. We're looking at things at the top, the top bar, navigation bar. Here are the discussion questions. Each question you'll have some consideration. Post your answers here, and of course there are requirements. We basically want to get a post out there before Wednesday night. Gives you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to kind of look through the question, do a little research sometimes, get yourself involved with teams in this one. Here's the PMBOK guide and some exam stuff. Here we're talking about careers and then some specifics on management. You can read them when you get there. But let's try to post by Wednesday, and then there are follow-up posts due by Sunday of that week. Now remember, as you know, discussion questions are like, we're in a classroom. So pretend you're going to class. You can come in at any time you want and make your post. But it's basically like a bunch of people sitting in a room talking and discussing a subject. And the subject will have a pretty specific scope of what we're looking at there. So every week you've got a discussion question to go through. The only other thing I want to show you at this navigational time are the grades. We don't have any people in here, so I can show grades. But what you're going to do is you're going to look across and see that there are discussion participation or discussion questions, which are essentially class participation. It's like attendance. Discussion questions like attendance. Are you here? Are you present? Are you involved in this class? Are you making contributions? And then we'll have the practice test is one section here, a bunch of practice tests for all 15 chapters. And then the quiz, the PMP quiz, those are one for each chapter as well. I will also have the Arbor project in here graded one way or another. One thing I can show you also is, I said I would get back to Cengage MindTap. When you jump in, you're going to see something like this is a reading from Cengage MindTap. We can go through chapter 7 and look at each different section. I may as well show you the integrated example project, Heritage Arboretum Development Project. So that you're going to find in each chapter. It's going to be important for you to navigate yourself to. The only other thing I want to show you right now is MS Projects, Microsoft Teams, which would be, this is what it's going to look like roughly. You're going to have a team assigned to you, and what you're doing is you're discussing within your team specific things. You're still going to do an individual presentation, but in these teams, you're going to discuss what you're going to come up with. And this is a real world example. So think of yourself as an advisor. You are part of the Heritage Arboretum project. Here, I can jump over to this summary here. Consider yourself part of the team, and you're going through to give your best advice on something. Basically, how would you advise on the following? So you're going to walk into a meeting, and you're going to say that this is what we should do. Why would we use Agile at this? What kind of information do we need to proceed? What are we expected to do when we get to part 2, which corresponds with the chapters in the second section of the book. Okay, so that's the Heritage Arboretum Project. We just call it the Arbor Project for short. This is where you're going to see all that. There will be a separate video made and probably some other follow-up videos about MS Teams to make sure you're in there. So this is just about getting started. Get yourself into the Content tab. Get yourself into Cengage MindTap and see what those practice tests are all about. You can start taking practice tests, see what you know. Get a little look at what the project assignment is, the Arbor project, and then have a look at where some of the discussion questions are. And that, of course, is going to be all in your basic course shell right here. Of course, there will be announcements from time to time that come up here each week. A couple times I'll just say, how's it going with this? Here's what's going on. And that's kind of the daily announcement, short and sweet announcement there. Okay, any other questions? No, we don't have questions. Thank you very much. And I will conclude this with